You know what a launch pad is? Launch pad, like think of a rocket ship, right? And a rocket ship takes off, right? That thing that it sits on is the launch pad. I wanted to become a program director at OneGoal because I've always been interested in the transition of high school students to college. I know my own transition was not particularly smooth, and I wanted to help other students do that transition in a better way.
I respected their mission in trying to help kids who maybe wouldn't get the same opportunities as other children based on their standing. And I know from my own personal life, I was very similar to those kids. I was in that same group of kids where I was a 75, sort of middling around school. I even got kicked out of school. So I know that you miss out on a lot of opportunities. And I know applying for college is really hard.
As the first generation college student, I was part of a program in my high school where they helped me to make sure that I was able to gain college access.
'11th grade is when most of our kids are willing to think about college and say, okay, yeah, we know we have to think about college. Right now, may I? You all have done a really great job with Part A. You've gotten the characteristics of your roadblock as well as your strategies on how to overcome it. So now you're going to work with your peers to make it better, okay? So you're going to do a table exchange. One group will listen to another group.
You know, you gotta go to college and also have to work.
Yeah, but
so you don't have
isn't that going to like affect something on your college days?
what?
Like imagine that you have to go to college, right? And you're working part-time. Do you think like you're gonna have the focus that you need in order to like finish like that?
That's what I mean, because it's a lot of pressure. You have to pay attention also in work, but also in college.
And I think college is like my future. This is like my big dream to be like someone who learn a lot of things about like the world, for example, business or engineering.
People want to go to college, but they don't really know the steps to get into college.
Mindset, college knowledge, and academic skills. So the most important of those is, of course, mindset. And I think it took me a while to realize as I got to know the OneGoal curriculum that that mindset piece was really important. And you want something that's going to make you take off, yes? So your self-esteem, if you believe in yourself and you have high self-esteem, you are always going to take off. But if every day you're trying to do something and that little voice is inside your head saying, why are you even bothering? Give up now, you're never going to take off. They just don't know about the opportunities, so it's a matter of just like telling them over and over and over, look, you can do this, so that they can start to imagine bigger and dream bigger.
Year 2 could expect to receive information on financial aid, actually applying for college, like getting that seat time in a classroom where they're not outside sort of doing their own thing, sort of left to their own devices. They're allowed to be with someone who can guide them through that process and actually sit down in class and spend class time.
Because I didn't know like really anything about college and middle school until OneGoal.
I think collaborating with the other students and also coming together to figure out a solution to whatever problem it was, whether it was financial aid packages or better explaining the information to your parents.
Your credit score may get ruined if I miss a payment option or a payment deadline, and the interest rate isn't ideal either.
As a kid, you have so much going on that you do need someone there to sort of shepherd you through these times and try to give you the best advice possible, because a lot of kids, they have parents, but a lot of their parents didn't go to college, so just like me, they're first generation trying to figure the system out.
He's very accessible because like an example was that on Sunday I had to email him for some college information. It was like really fast. I got a response. I got like what to do, how do I feel about it, he told me off the bat, how do you feel about doing this? And I felt like it was a relief to me.
The way that I help the fellows is that I check in with them weekly, sometimes monthly. It depends on the student, how independent or dependent they are on me or on OneGoal. But I check in on them and I ask them, like, did you file your taxes? What do your classes look like? What your schedule looks like?
The most about college is the freedom and like the growth that you really feel like you're an adult because you're on your own. Like you have to do everything by yourself. Like there's nobody on your back, oh, you need to study or oh, take these notes. Like that's when you realize like college makes you realize more about yourself and like it shows you the growth that you need to do as an individual.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
I just woke up, so.
It's 1:30.
Came out here to eat something.
You need stuff to do. It's 1:30, you now waking up. That's a problem. All right, let's check in. I want to see what the status is. I read your appeal letter. Everything looks good. So the biggest hurdle for my folks that I noticed so far is time management. Because now it's like, it's all this freedom, all this time. Like, how do I organize myself? How do I plan currently? How do I not waste time? So the summer program might be your...
Yeah, which I was accepted to, and that's what I'm doing this summer.
She had to bounce back a lot from a lot of disappointments. And the idea of like, she got into a great school that she wanted to, but she couldn't afford it, her family couldn't afford it. If you gain the 6 credits, then you'll be fine. But the GPA has to be, mira tú. Your GPA needs to be 3 and above. Okay, great. Okay, so with the help of myself and Terrell and OneGoal, we have been able to kind of create a plan for Catherine as to like what school she's gonna go to, what's the best fit financially, because that's like the biggest thing, it's just financial.
My career goal is forensic science.
My ultimate dream is to be happy. It's to understand that I might not have a lot of money or a lot of, things that I own, but knowing that I have self-confidence, happiness, people around me that support me, that's like my ultimate dream.
It isn't and it is a piece of paper. That piece of paper is a status symbol and it does mean that you have arrived. Or at least for me, it means like, hey, you've arrived. Like you've done what you wanted to do, you set out and you completed it. And it means I could go even further now, right? Like I finally sort of broken that glass ceiling, so to speak.